Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Henderson. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm broadcasting from a remote location in Pennsylvania, visiting some folks here. So welcome. We're part of the training group. For those of you who've been following us along during our months of the pandemic, we appreciate that. And for those of you that are new, we give you a special welcome. Who else do we have on the line? Ben, who are you?
Hello, my name is Ben Coyle. I'm also part of the lighting training group here at RAB. Each month we've been bringing you a webinar that addresses residential lighting. That's one of our focuses to this year for 2021 for RAB lighting, and this is the one for the month of August. So thank you for coming. Colleen, your turn.
And I am Colleen McLaughlin, Marketing Manager here at RAB. I handle Q&A, so if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the question box. I also handle the monthly giveaway. So this is, what is it, week 4 in August. We have one more week left. So today's code word that you're going to enter on the follow-up survey is LIVING, L-I-V-I-N-G. Type that in as your code word. It'll count as one entry into the monthly drawing. We do a $100 Amazon e-gift card. So tune in this week, fill out the survey, come back next week, fill out that survey. That's 2 chances. We'll announce the winner around September 2nd.
Excellent.
Okay, so that makes perfect sense. Lighting for the living spaces of your home, the code word is living. So we'll get started here as I switch over here and gain control of the slides, and we'll get started as soon as that happens here just momentarily. So the first learning objective for today is a living or family room is dynamic, and the lighting should be flexible for day and night use. And we'll get into a lot of the details there later. Also, how lamps, surface mount fixtures, and recess fixtures install, look, and feel. And the last one is, A, sit back, relax, and let's learn together. So here we go. So if we're talking about residential lighting, you'll see pictures here. You see these 3 pictures. So you could have an upscale, you could have a smaller home, or you could be an apartment. So we need to support safety, security, and aesthetics. In addition, color is important in a home, and the shape and the texture. All of this becomes more important, perhaps, than other areas that we light. And then promote comfort and warmth. We need to be comfortable in our homes, and we need to feel supported and warm. And then we certainly want to be friendly, welcoming, and functional. So the various things that we do, the function of relaxing is a function, as well as working on homework or work, especially recently during our pandemic, and also flexible for not only those tasks that vary, but also day and night. So how do we do this? How do we accomplish all these things that we want to do? So in a family room, here's one function. These folks are having a good time. They're enjoying the family life here. So if we go forward, we want to create areas of light, and we'll get into the details there. Vary the light levels, vary the fixture height. Sometimes you have a cathedral ceiling, a high vault ceiling. You might want to frame objects with light, as well as switch and or dim layers of light. So this is some of the things we'll be talking about today. So here's one, create areas of light. So as we said, by varying the light level and selecting the light distribution. So let's look at these 2 photos. So the one on the left is you have an area of light, and that's what they wanted to focus in that one area. Maybe they're getting ready to do a task or whatever. And then the other is the distribution of light. Notice in this case, you have uplight. That makes it warm and inviting, cozy. You also have downlight, but you also are lighting a particular area of the room. Okay, now, living family room in the daytime. So what is lighting this room mainly? Yes, we see some downlights, but what's going on here is daylight is very prominent. Daylight can really change the presentation in a room. and affect it in a significant way. Let's take a look at details here. So it typically makes the light level more uniform in the room. You'll notice how uniform this room is, which will reduce the drama. So if you want a lot of drama, then limiting the daylight, either with less windows or curtains, shades, whatever you might be, is a way to do that. And then it affects our mood and our attitude. So if you're in a dark room most all day versus a room with light, it's a significant impact on the mood and our attitudes. And then also it can have a positive effect on our health effects. And you've heard us talk about circadian lighting and resetting our body clock and so forth. So any light that comes into a room is a contributor to that. Now, and we also can save energy depending on the situation. So if we use a lot of light and leave it on for a long time, the duration and so forth, versus control that light, use it in areas where we really need it, that's really important. It gives us an opportunity to save that energy. All right, so let's look at our layers of light. You've heard us probably talk about this before. Let's review this. So we have general or ambient lighting. You see this in the picture, the uplight into the beams, the general area of the lighting. You have the task lights with the table lamps, the accent with the picture here, and then the decorative. So you'll see the decorative is part of the displaying the beams and so forth, as well as daylight coming in from the windows. So if we take a look at this, let's identify the layers of light in this particular photo. So the first one we have is general ambient. So you have your downlights and you also have your table lamp there. And we'll talk about one more in just a few minutes that I didn't cover right here, and you'll see why. The next one is task. So there's our table lamp for a particular task. We're reading something. Next is our accent over there with a whiteboard. And then we've got our decorative, and the decorative is providing some ambient light as well, but it's the decorative layer. And then daylight. So those are kind of identifying what the different layers of light are, and they all combine to make the mood and the setting for that particular room or area. Now, we have a handout here called what is in the ceiling. And so you see different across from left to right, recessed housing, junction box, you got a hole, or it could be just framing. And then down in the left side, you've got various products that we offer that can go in and what would go where. So I would invite you to look into this one. It's on our website to be able to find out what goes where as a handout. Now, moving forward is our family living room. And so we have talked about some of these. Now let's look at some products. So the top part of this is what we've already covered. So we're going to talk about lamps, and we're also going to talk about RAB surface mount fixtures. So you see 3 lamps there, a lamp, a reflector, and a PAR, and then you see 3 other products that are surface, a SKEET XL, an edge lit surface mount, or DISK or DISK34. So let's first look at our lamps. So over on the left photo, you see that's a reflector, suspended pendant type of fixture. An A lamp goes into that. So what it does is control that. Even though you have a wide omnidirectional distribution of light, you can kind of focus that light, soft light, where you want it. The VR lamp also provides softer light, but it's directional in nature instead of omnidirectional. And then you have the PAR. So when you get into PAR, you got various beam angles you can order, and some are spots, some are floods, and it provides that drama that we talked about. Now, the next product we're going to talk about is our SKEET XL. So take a look at this, and it's a low profile, a uniform light without pixelation of LEDs. And that's done by the spacing of the LEDs as well as the lens. We have it in CRI of 80 plus. It's a TRIAC 120 dimming, and it mounts to a junction box as well. and it provides a wide distribution of light. So 3 different sizes that we have are 12-inch, 16-inch, and 21-inch. So depending on the size of the room or the application, you can pick that. And the thing about it with this is it's very low glare and very, it distributes the light very evenly. Also, some other features about this product is it's Energy Star rated, and it comes in 27, 3000, 3500, and 4000 K. And it's has our 5-year no compromise warranty. Now let's move on to our edge lit surface mount. So the edge lit, it comes in round or square, and of course the light comes from the edges. So immediately it's very smooth on the surface, as well as nice distribution, wide distribution, 3 sizes of 5 and 0.5 or 7-inch and 9 inches. And the standard edge lit is 5/8 of an inch thick, and it's 80 or 90 CRI options. And the dimming is 120 triac or ELV, electronic low voltage, is 5/8 of an inch. However, if you want to go to a 0 to 10, then it's a little bit thicker, maybe a little bit less than an inch right there. And it has that modern look or modern appeal. It's also mounts directly to a J box. And here's our some of our other features that we talked about. What's different about this is it is IC rated, so you can lay insulation on top. We have 3 color temperatures, 27, 3000, and 4000. And in California, it is JA8 compliant and has our 5-year no compromise warranty. And last is the DISK and DISK34 in my part of the presentation. So the DISK34 is our economy version of the DISK. So it comes in 5 CCTs, all the way from 27 all the way up to 5000, and it's damp rated. And you can actually screw that lens off. So that's the reason it's damp rated. And it has our 5-year limited warranty, as opposed to the actual DISK, which is a 90 CRI as well as an 80 CRI. And it's wet rated, so perfect for a shower or whatever, has our 5-year no compromise, and 4 CCTs. And then it also is available in adjustable CCTs as well. And then you'll see the bracket is various attachments there for different sizes to attach to that J box. And then as well, it is 90 CRI version, of course, is Title 24 in California compliant, and it dims down to compatible dimmers down to 5%. So with that, I'm going to invite Ben on over, and Ben is going to take over and talk about some downlights. Ben?
Yeah, so thanks, Bob. Talking about those lamps can really be used anywhere in different types of living spaces, whether it's a small space or it's a large space. But when we get to those surface mounts in my mind are more for less formal spaces, smaller rooms, basically the one that's there in the middle. All the fixtures that Bob just talked about mount to an electrical box as their primary mode of attachment. Some of them actually could potentially be put into recessed housing, but primarily what Bob talked about are the surface mounts, smaller rooms. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to talk about the ones that are flanking to either side, the one on the left and also the one on the right. So when we think of a family room or a living room from a recess standpoint, we have all these different products down below. I'm sure if anybody's attended one of our webinars before, one of our residential type webinars, we've had this kind of format where we have family room, it creates layers of light, some of the stuff that Bob's already talked about with the products down below. Now, why or how would you want to use these different types of light sources? Or these light fixtures. So let's look at just the downlight retrofits. So the downlight retrofits, it's for something where I need to use an existing housing. You have an existing housing up there in the ceiling. You want something that's simple and easy, toolless, be able to potentially have some color trims available with this. The next one that I have, I need a decorative fixture that looks the same but can have field changeable light output, field changeable distributions, and also field changeable trims. So we have the HALITE as a potential option of going up inside and having it be recessed. Next, we have the 2-model remodeler, 2-inch remodeler. cut a hole up in the ceiling. We want to be able to have a small look to create an upscale type situation. Next one that I have is the Wafer Downlight. I need a downlight, but I don't have a socket, J-box, or housing. So this is, you cut a hole in the ceiling, you put it right up inside. And the last one is a modified version of that wafer, except for it's either a 2-inch version of cut a hole in the ceiling, put a 2-inch lamp up there, sorry, 2-inch fixture up there, or we have a gimbal product. So let me go into each one of these to help us understand what's the power, why you would want to sell it, why you would want to buy each one of these. So the first one I have here is our retrofits. So this is the product that doesn't come with a can. It's designed to go into an existing can. So you have a little socket on one side, you have the medium base socket, and then you have a plug, and then you actually plug this either 4 or 6-inch smoother ridged, baffled, sorry, that's the word. Sorry, smoother baffled. On the right, we actually have a baffled version of the 4-inch square or the 6-inch square. Now, depending upon the size of room, how tall your ceilings are, I would think that in most residences, you're going to be using more along the lines of the 4-inch retrofit or the 4-inch square, these two different versions here. So to make this product even that more palatable, we used to only have them available in white. Now we actually have, for the round versions, we have a little trim adapter that goes right on the unit. So we have a black, bronze, and a silver trim. It's both available in a baffle and smooth and 4 and 6-inch. So you can now change the look of that white trim and make it look slightly different depending upon what the design of the interior space is. 12277 is probably not too much for residential use, but we do have some versions that go all the way up to 277 volts. And then we can see the field adjustable. So if you have a variety of different customers that have different preferences and you're not sure exactly what that customer wants, you can buy the field adjustable version so that you can tune in the correct light color so that you can match the interior design of the space. Moving on to the HALITE. So the HALITE is almost a downlight retrofit, but it actually has a can that goes up into the ceiling. So you have that remodeler can that goes up into the ceiling. We also have a new construction version that's up there. And that electrical box that you see there on the remodeler housing and the electrical box that you see on the new construction housing actually has the plug that comes out directly from that electrical box so that you can plug the HALITE pieces into it. So what we have going on with the HALITE is a number of options. You have 2 different light outputs to choose from. You can actually, that light output device, the little module, the LED module that produces the light, it comes with a 80-degree frosted lens. We also have a 50-degree lens. We have a wall wash lens. We also have a Solite lens. So you don't have to have the one that actually comes on that unit. You can buy an optional piece that actually snaps into that unit so that you can get a different distribution. And the last piece of the puzzle is that trim. So we have a variety of trims in different colors. And the way that all of these, the module, the optics, and also that trim, all snaps, twists, or squeezes together with no need for any tools. To get the new construction housing up into the ceiling, to get the remodeler housing up into the ceiling, you're probably going to have to use some tools. But once you get that housing up in the ceiling, everything snaps, twists, or squeezes together with a HALITE. And you get a variety of different styles and looks and light outputs and distributions with the HALITE. The next one that we have is something we call our 2-inch remodeler. We've had this guy for a very long time. It's been our product portfolio, been a nice, good mainstay. We have there a little collet, cut a hole in the ceiling, you put the collet up inside, make your electrical connections, and you can actually push this unit right up inside. It can make connection or come in contact with insulation. We also have a trimless version. So we have that spackled flange that you can screw up to the ceiling and you can actually mud right up to it so that you have a nice seamless look on the ceiling with the trimless version. And then we have a new construction housing that actually uses the 2-inch remodeler inside that housing. It goes up through the hole and off to the light of that housing, you can actually see a little C-shaped thing. That's where the driver portion goes up through and it lands and it sits right onto that housing, that clip that we have there. Now the 2-inch remodeler, the power of the 2-inch remodeler is you have round, square, and you have round adjustable. That's what the RS and RA. T stands for trimmed, TS stands for trimless, white, black, silver. Then you have 20, 30, 40 degree optics with a wall wash version. Sometimes we use YY for 2700K, Y for 3000K, YN for 3500K, and N for 4000K. And this is available in both 80 CRI models and 90 CRI models if you in California want that. Now we do have a deep recessed version. It's a slightly different wattage. It's a couple watts higher with more lumens available with this guy. And because we have that lens is farther recessed inside, you're going to see there that you have more options for the trim and you have more options for the cone. So the trim is white, black, silver, and satin aluminum, or actually specular satin aluminum. And then the cone is white, black, silver, and matte silver with the same optics, the same CCTs, and the same CRIs. So if you need a specification grade type fixture that has a lot of different options, that's nice and small, can tuck right up into the ceiling, the 2-inch remodeler or the 2-inch deep regress remodeler may be the product for you. Moving on to the Wafer Downlight. The way the Wafer Downlight works, it goes with that cut hole in the ceiling. And what's great about this whole family of products, we can see there in the bottom left, the fact that the LED module and the driver are separate from each other with a little plug. So this is IC rated. It's made so that you can put this guy into some really, really low ceilings, really, really shallow between the floor up above and the ceiling. You can get it into some pretty small spaces. And the power of the wafer, not that anybody's going to use, please don't use an 8-inch wafer in a home unless the ceiling is really, really super high, and probably not even the 6-inch. You're probably going to be doing the 3 and the 4. We do have different styles of this. We either have where the lens sits flush with the ceiling with a little bit wider trim. We have that baffle version, which has a little bit of a ridge and the lens is recessed up a little bit into the product. And that one actually has a little bit narrower of a trim around the outside. And then the last one, which actually really looks like a downlight when it's installed in the ceiling, but you don't have all the depth of a downlight because even this deep regress smooth with that recessed lens with a wider trim, you have the LED driver and the LED module separated so that you can actually have this installed in very, very thin plenums. The 2-inch and the 2-inch gimbal. We have a 2-inch version that has a more economical price than the 2-inch recessed remodeler version that we have. We also have some gimbal versions. So if you have angled ceilings or if you're trying to light artwork or something on the wall or to the side, we actually have 2, 3, and 4-inch gimbals. Those rotate 360 and they adjust up to 32 degrees to be able to angle that light down or to put it on a ceiling that is angled in and of itself. So moving on from kind of what you can do from a remodeler standpoint, we do have new construction downlights, new construction versions. We've already seen some of these. The 2-inch remodeler goes into that housing can. We've seen that. We've also seen the HALITE and the new construction housing. We also have a whole family of products that are 4 and 6-inch. If you need a specification grade downlight in the larger aperture size, let's say 4 or 6-inch, we do have that, along with the wafer. If you really want to take the wafer and you want to put it in a new construction, we do have a little adapter piece that you can nail up into the wooden beams and then knock out the appropriate hole so that you can actually put the product up in a new construction application. But I want to focus on the NDLED series. This is the 4 and the 6-inch. Because I've really talked about the other families. So what do we have here? The power of this also is choice. You have 2 sizes, 4 and 6. You have 2 shapes. You have round and you have square. You have 4 cone colors, white, black, silver, and aluminum. We have 3 trim colors, black, silver, and white. We have 3 different beam distributions, wall wash, 60 and 80 degree, 3 light outputs, 12 watt, 20 watt and 26 watt available here in the new construction series that mount right up into the ceiling. So with that, we have helped you understand a little bit about what is involved with lighting a family room or a living room of all different sizes, the things that you need to think about. We've also talked about how lamps, surface mount fixtures, that was Bob's world, and then my world of recessed fixtures, how they look, how they feel, how they go up in the ceiling. And hopefully you were able to sit back and relax and learn a few things as we went through this presentation. So next week, this is going in line with some of the other presentations that we've done in the past couple months or so. We have all these different compact lamps, and they, I'm talking about compact fluorescent lamps, and they have different base types, and they go into different sockets types. And then we have LEDs. How does all this kind of fit together? When I say something like a G24D-2 socket with a specific lamp that actually goes into that, a 2-inch lamp that goes, or 2-pin lamp that goes into that, what does that mean? And we're going to decipher all of this for you, help you understand what the different base types are and the different tools that you can use to be able to find the correct LED solution that will go into the socket that you are going after. So with that, thank you for attending, and we appreciate your time. I'm going to turn it